You have to go back to the Zoom meeting. Yeah, should work just like a regular Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Midtown High School agenda. It has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I'm pleased to call this meeting of the Midtown High School to order. Our first order of business is to call roll. Ms. Reese, will you call roll for us?
Yes. Betsy Bachman. Here. Jennifer Keenan. Here. Of course, I'm here. Tracy Naylor.
I'm here, and I just, my name is spelled completely incorrectly.
Okay.
It's T-R-A-C-Y, and then the last name.
T-R-A-C-Y, so no E in there.
And then the last name is N-A-I-L-O-R.
Okay. Taylor.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Got that fixed. Stacy Tanner.
Here.
Robert Hill.
Here.
Sergeant Major Fisher.
Here.
Leah Matthews. Wilgina Montgomery.
She text me and said she's on her way.
She's on her way? Okay. Nidia Rivera.
Here.
Sydney Newton.
Here, and also my name is spelled wrong.
Okay, correct that, please.
It's in a line instead of an I. S-Y-D.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Eden Sharp. All right.
Okay, is there a quorum present?
Yes.
Okay, our first order of business is to approve the agenda that is provided for you in copies, or there is a digital copy online for you to look at. Please take a moment to review the agenda. Are there any changes of the agenda? May I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
And a second?
Second.
And that was Fisher and. All right, we will review.
You'll call for the vote?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, y'all. All opposed say nay. Nay, or raise your hand.
I did that last time.
Any abstentions? All right, so we will review the minutes. So let's review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting that I gave you a copy of. Minutes have been provided for you. Are there any corrections?
Corrections to the name spellings.
Okay, maybe. All right, if there are there any further corrections to be made? Okay, so if there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes?
Jennifer Keenan, so moved.
A second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay, or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please identify yourself. Raise your hand. All right, so our action plan is to, according to the script, it is to review and update our strategic plan. However, our strategic plan has been approved, so we're going to, that's on the agenda only if we hadn't done our priorities. So we reviewed our strategic plan and ranked our priorities. So is anyone opposed to us? So we're going to move forward. We will now hear from the principal. So if there are any, we've done all this. So we've done the ranking. So is anyone opposed to moving forward past reviewing the strategic plan? Again, we've already done that we move forward. Okay, thank you. Oh, here you go. All right. So just on your agenda, it does have our academic priorities, which were our strategic priorities, which were in, this is our final priority list, which was academic excellence, empowering leaders and staff, building student support, and school support. All right. All in favor to move forward? I mean, do we have a motion to move forward? So
Motion.
moved. All right, a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we will now move on to the discussion items on our agenda. For the next few meetings, we will be focusing on creating a budget for the next school year, which aligns with our strategic plan and addresses the strategic priorities. We need to ensure that our meeting schedule will permit us to complete the budget and align to the district's timeline. We need to have a draft budget completed prior to our principal staffing conference sometime between February 26th and March 1st. Then we will need to have a meeting after the staffing conference and before Friday, March 15th on the final budget approval. Dr. Bachman, when is the staff conference scheduled to take place?
We don't have anything.
We haven't. So thanks for that information. We will now take a minute to look at our meeting schedule. Set up. Oh, I've been signed out. So right here, this is where we are, the budget parameters. So right now, what I'm doing is reviewing to look at the schedule. So right here, we are on the Go Team District budget allocations. Then there's principals review, principal, associate superintendent discussion and review. Then there's the Go Team feedback, and we'll try to combine steps 5 and 7. So that
You cannot combine steps 5 and 7.
okay.
You cannot, because the approval has to come after the staffing conference and feedback has to come before the staffing conference.
Okay. But the staffing conference is not a meeting, right? So that's just
The staffing conference is something that the principal goes to.
okay. Okay.
We'll get it on.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to accept? So let me. So what I'll do is, it's all these like fancy stuff on here. It's like, so what we'll do is remove that, and then there we have an understanding that this is not something that.
Oh, I sent you.
Okay, so I can't, but I'll go back and fix it. Okay, all right. All right, so is there a motion to approve our schedule?
So what we're
Well,
gonna.
we need to, don't we need to set the schedule?
Set the actual
Yeah, set the date.
The dates. Well, we can't, yeah.
Which is
The staffing conference is,
It's not
it's a little
scheduled.
generic there. It's,
Correct.
I don't have a specific date yet.
So can we make a motion to approve the schedule upon receipt of the staffing conference? Is that or do you have?
So at the beginning of the school year, you voted on a calendar for the year. And
Yeah.
Right now you have a meeting scheduled on February 12th and March 11th. The team, of
Okay.
course, is welcome to change those meeting dates if they do not work. However, in terms of the budget process, the February 12th meeting for your feedback and the March 11th for your final approval are sufficient.
February 12th is fine.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's up to the team and Dr. Bachman now if those dates fit within your schedule.
February 12th is fine for the next, if that's fine with you all, or if we just stick with that. For the,
So it just needs to be approved. But it's saying it needs to be approved by March 4th, so that doesn't, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
step-
Diane, step 7 says budget's approved by March 4th. Is that approved by the GO team? So do we need to have our March 11th meeting before March 4th?
No.
Again, to the
By
point.
March 15th.
Yes. I'm saying it's
Okay.
March 15th, March 15th is the deadline.
So then,
So the
so then
11th
the
is
budget, so the budget should be approved by March 15th then.
yes.
Okay.
That's official.
This is just a disclaimer.
Okay, so step 5
This is
is,
what they said.
okay, is step 5, February 12th?
So step 5 will be February 12th, and then step 7 will be, March 11th.
11th, okay. Okay. That makes sense. Is it, I have one question. Is it allowable, if there is any, review of any materials or anything like that, is it allowable for that to be done outside of a meeting? Or must that be done within a meeting? So just in case, you know, so we don't have to end up adding a meeting for any reason. Question, I don't know.
Did you hear that question?
So if I understand, you're asking in terms of reviews of the material.
Right.
The GO team members independently can review the material at any time that they would like. However, if the team feels that there needs to be more discussion, then you do have to come together because that discussion has to take place in the public eye.
Okay.
Now, if you, as an individual GO team member, have specific questions, you are welcome to contact Dr. Bachman and her team on an individual for clarification or that kind of, so
Okay.
I hope
Okay.
that brings it.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, so, do I have a motion to accept the changes to the meeting calendar, which is for step 5, February 12th, step 7, March 11th?
Well, did we really?
We
Okay.
didn't
I'm
change
not sure we
anything on
changed
ours.
because if that was already on the calendar,
We didn't change our calendar, this display is wrong.
so, I mean, yeah.
Right, okay, so can we get a motion to move forward?
So I move that.
We don't need
we need a motion
motions
for
to
that?
move forward. Yeah.
Okay,
With appropriate.
we would
edits.
now move on, I'm just,
Hold on.
I am actually reading from a document that is a script. And the script says, may I have a motion? I'm not just throwing out motions for my help. So that's why I'm saying these things, because I'm actually reading the script that the GO team department sent me.
I
Wouldn't you?
I would make a motion that we accept the calendar with appropriate adjustments to the
Okay.
calendar dates.
To the process.
Mhm. Okay. May I please have a second? All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay.
Nay. Oh, well, my mind's.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next. Okay, all right, so let's just review what the first GO team meeting is, when the principal will provide an overview of the budget allocations for GO team members and the general public. This meeting will provide an opportunity for the principal and GO team to ensure alignment of the school's key strategic priorities and gain a deeper understanding of the budget allocations and provide input to drive the direction of the draft budget. And when we are doing this on today, which is January 30th. So our principal, 29th. Our principal's role was to design the budget and propose operational changes, flesh out strategies, implement and manage the school, at the school level, focus on the day-to-day operations, serve as the expert on the school, and hire quality instructional and support personnel. And the role of the GO team is focus on the bigger picture, positions and resources, not people. Ensure that the budget is aligned to the school's mission and vision, and that resources are allocated to support our key strategic priorities. All right. So our priorities were fostering academic excellence, equipping, empowering leaders and staff, building student support. It's supposed to be equipping and empowering, and creating a system of school support. And so here we have our first items, and Dr. Botman will explain her rationale behind some of her decisions.
Okay. So our data will continue to be used to ensure that students are receiving maximized opportunities for achievement through individualized remediation, AP course offerings, evolving courses based on student interests, such as forensic, partnerships with colleges for dual enrollment, as well as work-based learning opportunities. Clean that up, some of those spelling errors, sorry. And then, so any questions about that? That's kind of our mission. Okay. Equipping and empowering leaders and staff. Ensure that teachers have the necessary instructional materials and manipulatives to enhance the classroom environment. Protected PLC time, professional learning community time, to prepare student curriculum, as well as opportunities for professional engagement and academic advancements. Okay. And so our third priority, building a culture of student support, sustain student supports, which include graduation coach, Chris 180, additional social worker, counselor, bilingual engagement specialist, student support clerk, provide parental support to ensure understanding of LMS, which is learning management system, so that's Schoology. So in that, the district is allotting us an additional social worker, which is really, really great. So we'll have 2 social workers. I don't have to pay for that out of my budget. 2 social workers next year. And due to our increasing enrollment, I'm going to add I'm budgeting for additional counselors. That'll be 5 counselors next year. Creating a system, student support provides subject-specific professional memberships for teachers. So if you're a science teacher, an STA, all of that for all of our teachers. Engage with parents to create opportunities for them to volunteer on campus. A great opportunity was in the nightly news. If you saw that, for help with our college in the courtyard. So we need volunteers for that. It's just one opportunity. Create opportunities for students and teachers to engage in non-academic discussions. Create parent surveys in order to identify skills and strengths within our parent group. Create opportunities for parents to teach or share their skills with the community, with our community. One thing we did was, hopefully all of you all filled out the Cognia parent survey that we've been pushing for the month of January. That's part of our accreditation, which is coming up. We haven't had that in quite a while. The whole school system is doing accreditation, but Midtown is doing its own individual accreditation, and that's parent surveys are very important, and we will share those results. We did it, students, faculty, and parents will share that. Okay, so discussion of our budget for this coming up year. So we are projected to have 1,711 students next year, which is an increase. And because you'll always ask for changes. Okay, what was it last year? What was it? So I'm going to give you some info here before you even ask that question.
Okay.
So you'll see up there that, okay, the 1711, our total budget for this year is in the $17 million range there. What that does is break down, so the cost is $7,731 per pupil for instruction, but then you add in all of that, what it costs per pupil, and it's about $10,264 with our budget. That's what it kind of costs to educate a student here with all of those categories. So what you have here, and that's how we broke it down in large, that's large buckets right there, very large buckets for next year. That's where it is. You can see what we pay for, pupil services, the FTE, that's people that I buy, or people that may be adjusted, but so basically 11. And that's counselors, social workers, grad coach, all those kind of student support. School administration, they're not 16 principals or APs. That's a lot of different people in there. And maintenance and operations, we don't pay for that, but it's put in there so you can see it. I don't pay $900,000 for that specifically. So, but you see the big chunk is instruction right there. With FTEs, we have 118.6 teachers. That is a very, very large staff here. And so that's what that cost is. The cost for a teacher is $109,000. That's the cost this year coming up, $109,000 for a teacher. That's with benefits and all that. So that's the average cost. As with everything has gone up. So here you have a little bit more of a breakdown. Well, you want to show just the next slide is kind of the pie chart that just shows what I showed you, where all the money goes to instruction is 75% of our budget. Always has been, that's nothing. So let's look at this, what you have in front of you. It does show the change. So on the left is for this coming up year, 1711. And then last year, you see we were budgeted for 1,676 students, and we have about 1,665 right now. And so and then the change there. So if you want to look at under the categories, some change that jumps out at me for sure is some things have changed. So like the poverty rate, you can see it's 0.47. Last year was 0.5. Concentration of poverty, that also went down. Gifted went up a little bit. Gifted education, you see last year it was 0.5, and then it's 0.6 times the number. So times the number of kids say that are gifted. That's what that is. So that's all that. We don't have a gifted supplement. That's really for schools that don't have enough students to have like a whole teacher, but they get money to provide. So we do not get the small school supplement. Incoming performance, that's ninth graders. That's kind of an average of their scores, like students that might need extra support. So we get that. We get some money to help with that.
So since that went up, what does that mean?
So if the incoming performance went up, that means that, well, we have more students. So we have many more students coming in ninth. So this year we're projected to have, you see on the bottom there, I just put the numbers. In ninth grade, the way it breaks down is 474 ninth graders. 10th graders, 435. 424 for 11th grade and 378.
So with that number going from 238 to 334, I know it's more students, but does it mean that more students need support?
Yes.
Is it, okay.
And that would be based on really their 7th grade scores, because we don't have 8th grade scores. So it's based on 6th and 7th grade scores.
Okay.
And we get a little supplement, something new there where it says capacity. We get a little of that. We didn't get, that didn't really exist last year. So we're getting extra 254,000 because we are over capacity. Schools that are over capacity get a little bit more. That's
Is that
something
from the
new.
federal government? Is that federal?
No,
Is that
that's state.
So what would you do with that? Like, what, you get the money, but what do you, and I don't know if this should be asked at a later meeting, but.
Oh, you will see. That's part of the 17 million. And at the next meeting, you'll get a little bit more detail as to what we're doing. So we have had a couple of people on care, we no longer have the CARES budget. So, as a result of COVID, we had 3 years of CARES, maybe 4, of CARES, extra federal money, lots of that. This was the last year that we had CARES. So I have a couple of positions that are on the CARES budget. So we'll have to absorb those or abolish those positions, which we'll talk about at our next meeting specifically. So
Dr. Beckman, I had another question just about this capacity. So what determines, if you get like a 0.25 versus a 0.5, or like what determines how much capacity you have to have to make that number go up?
Diane, do you know the formula for like why is it 0.25 for capacity? Do you know why? Specifically 0.25. So like, big schools that are over capacity for the first time got money. That's new.
Right.
So do you have any idea how is that what you're asking, Tracy?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
what
basically-
determines the weight?
Yeah, like what determines the weight? So
percent of
how
students
far
over
over
capacity?
capacity do you have to be to change that number?
I don't know exactly what that number is. I would recommend that you go back to the board meetings and the budget commission meeting and watch Dr. Lisa Bracken's presentations, because I believe that those questions were answered there. You
Okay.
can also go to the finance page.
Okay.
And it might be in there. I will say just one thing that Dr. Bracken likes to say is the pie is the pie. And so, figuring out where all these weights, because we have a set amount. So, but there is a, there is a committee that talks about all of these things just to get there. So it's
Okay.
not,
And does that tell what is this for? I mean, is it to widen the hallways, get more desks, get more people? Just what's the universe of what you in that?
It would be to provide for extra kids.
Yeah.
That's what he
Might-
says.
might be
It's
more
desks,
desks
say it's
or
right.
Whatever it is that we would
Okay.
need to
Okay.
More
accommodate
people, like
more kids.
additional people. I mean, you
Oh,
could use it for a
couldn't say.
teacher, you could use it to buy a teacher, you could use, yes. So no, it's, you can use it as you want to.
Okay.
Dr. Bachman, do you know, I mean, when you look at it at first glance, it looks like, oh, there was a $1,000 increase per pupil. That's good news. And you said the cost for a teacher for next year is $109,000. Do you know the cost of a teacher for this year?
Oh, I think I'm gonna say it was something like 104, maybe. Yeah, I can look back at the other budget, and it may be on the website, but.
So I guess what I'm hoping is that this additional money per pupil is giving you the ability to hire more teachers, but if the increase in the cost per teacher
Right,
ate up all of that,
right.
then you're really not getting any more money. You're just getting enough money to keep the teachers that you have now.
Yes. Yes, with the cost of, and many schools are really hurting with that, with the cost of the teacher going up. It's really hurting them more than we are. I mean, this capacity thing helps a lot.
And just to make clear, the cost of teachers should go up. We support that 100%,
Right,
but I wish
yes.
there needs to be more money to hire more teachers, particularly because Midtown is so overcrowded.
So,
Thank you, Dr. Bachman, I'm reading my script, guys.
are there any other questions about, if you want to go back, if you just go back, maybe, Stacy, to the, one more, just, it's the same thing, but does anybody, that's what we're looking at this year. Again, next time we'll have a little bit more information about that.
I did have one question. This is actually going back to something that you mentioned in terms of the just generally your general description about the budget allocation. When you talk about parent volunteers, my understanding is that for parents to volunteer, they have to have a background check. And that background check costs money. Is there something in our budget that will help to offset that for parents who cannot afford that and they still want to volunteer? My understanding is that it's there's a little bit of a a cost to it.
Yes, it's $45.
Yes. And so for parents who, I mean, because obviously, parent volunteers are hard enough to come by, but if $45 is keeping them from doing that, I would certainly, love to figure
Sure.
out a way to help
And I think
out.
we can, in our, in the budget, like the big budget, we have a big allocation for like supplies, material supplies. I think we can use that, general fund budget to do that, but that's a great idea. I don't see why we can't do that. We definitely would have money to do that. So I'm gonna put that, as an idea, yeah.
It's gonna be a minimum. Cause what if I only volunteer once in 180 days?
So that's a great question. Look,
Because
you know
if
what?
you come in and you paying
Just so you
$45 for
know,
me.
There are levels of
Mhm.
Okay.
there are levels of
To the background check.
Yes.
Oh,
And you
okay.
know what? You can just volunteer, or like if you're spending
A
the
long
night, or
time.
you're going on a field
Okay.
trip, something like
Right.
that.
Well,
That's the.
Let me tell you the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because like literally after this, there's a track meeting. And so we're trying to get volunteers for like the concession stand for a track meet.
Right.
And my understanding is that even for parents to staff that, like literally you're at the hospitality suite handing out food. Yeah, you do.
Since when?
It's just, it's like level 1, level 2.
That can be a level 1.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a level
truly a
one.
level 1.
So-
That's not a fingerprint.
Full
reader.
background check.
Okay, well then I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
talk with so I'll talk about that offline with him because he was telling me that and I was like, oh my goodness, that's gonna really hurt us in terms of trying to get
Coach Overton,
Mhm.
I'll send an email, before the meeting. I'll just say, yeah, it's a
Okay,
level
yeah,
1.
okay,
Mhm.
okay,
But
perfect.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's
But that
that's
was-
a great.
That was one, but that was one of the things that that was one of the reasons why I was concerned because, I mean, if we don't want the cost
Mhm.
of that or even a rumor of that to
Yeah.
just, to deter parents from being volunteers and coming on campus.
Yes, that's a great idea from funding. That's great. We will definitely add that in. Yeah. Okay. Other ideas or questions or things like that?
So when you look at this, what do you then say, I need the foundation to do this, I need the foundation to do that?
So the foundation spends a huge amount of money this year on Saturday school. We're looking at, I think it's about $100,000.
Okay.
They do, but every time.
And so one thing I'm gonna ask next year is, if maybe PTSO can pick up one Saturday, maybe 2 Saturdays, maybe the Athletic Booster Club, I mean, tomorrow can pick up one because, athletes are in that. I mean, I'm trying to, because the foundation can't continue to do that. I mean, that's
can't do it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we have to spread the wealth because we feel like it's valuable. I think it's very valuable. But I can also, there's when I show you the big budget, there's a category called teacher stipends that I put some money into. And so one thing I can do with that is the foundation can pay the cost of a teacher on a Saturday, maybe 2/3 of it, and I can pay 1/3 of it through that budget. We're definitely gonna have to do something different for next year. We can't, there's money just not there. The foundation's been very happy to do this for 2 years, but it's just too much. It's too much. So. And other schools do it, they pay their teachers a lot less. I mean, we really want a high quality program, but the stipend amount per hour for teacher is about $32. And to ask teachers to come in for less than $100 on a Saturday is really a big ask. And so the foundation kicks in a lot more than that. So we have a foundation meeting this week too. So we'll talk about that for sure. Because, if you have a foundation, you really don't want it doing one thing because then donors might, you want donors to see a plethora of things, or they're going to go, well, my child doesn't do Saturday school. I'm not going to give, So.
That's not the mindset. Yeah.
He's a regular at Saturday school. As a teacher, not as a student.
They come for the biscuits. though.
Right, but if
I was
you
gonna say, it's all
they
about
come
the
for the
Chick-fil-A.
biscuits now.
It's all about the Chick-fil-A.
That may be cut.
Chick-fil-A now.
About the granola bars, Walmart granola bars. But
Yeah.
you feel like it's valuable. I mean, you feel like you make a difference in that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't have to spend additional instructional time getting assignments done with kids. They keep the instructional time, and then Saturday is their additional time to turn in something they didn't do or take a retake. So
Right.
it's helpful in that sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Some kids do a lot better in Saturday schools than during the, I mean, they really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a smaller environment.
Distraction.
Yeah,
It's really good.
they got that individual.
Mhm.
They don't have their friends to play with.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
And everybody's here kind of like-minded.
Yeah, like, yeah.
You know,
Focus.
everybody's focused. Everybody knows why they're in
I
Saturday
know.
school.
It's weird.
So it's really good.
We're also gonna, next year, try to offer many more college success classes, which is basically study hall. We've done it before for 3 or more AP classes. We're gonna try to do it for 2 or more AP classes. I just find kids is just so scheduled, and homework is a problem. It's just a problem getting all that done. If you have a sport or you get involved in something, you get home so late, and it's
Yeah.
mentally taxing for all of us. It's really taxing, and
Right.
you know, if we really want kids to have sleep and things like that. So we're going to, I'm gonna see, so what that means is to have more periods of that. It means I need more teachers doing that, you know. So we have to work it out schedule wise to make sure we're not overcrowding classes. Like if Mr. Hill has a college success class, that means he only has 5 core classes and the 1 college success. So that's where you have to make sure we have enough teachers and that we're not overloading. That just doesn't mean that then he has 35 in a class. I mean, that's not that's not the point, is to overload teachers so that we can have college success classes. It's a really delicate thing that Mr. Vincent does. So, but I'm excited about that. I think that'll be really helpful. You know, and it's good for teachers too. While it's a class, it's also a chance for teachers to do some planning and things like that. You know? So, yeah. Because one thing we're going to do next year is go into writing more. The district is expecting more writing on the high school and middle school level. With not necessarily like a program, but we're going to use Write Score, which is more of an assessment grading. It gives feedback, and so we're going to, you know, that takes some time. So, and I'm glad we really haven't done a cohesive writing program in a long time. So. Other questions about budget or anything? I think an additional social worker will help a lot. You know, right now I have an attendance specialist that we bought, but if we have a social worker free, then the 2 social workers can really split the jobs maybe, or one can really focus on attendance and the other can focus on mental health needs or something.
This isn't that entirely, but I noticed on the budgeting that we have flex, which is like $132,000. I've heard somewhat about this, but can you explain what it is? I kind of just looked it up and it's kind of a brief description.
She was kind of saying like it was.
Wrap my head around
teachers
it.
came.
It kind of just says like, what is it, like flexible working and expanded remote capacity? Is it for teachers? Is it for students?
It's really for anything.
It's for anything.
Yeah. Very, flex being flex, and that's, we have a huge amount of autonomy. There are only some very specific things that we have to do, like the money for media services, like you see, that has a whole category, the blue, educational media services. We have to give a certain amount of that to the media center for all kinds of things. But we have huge flexibility in the money. You know, I can buy more teachers, not buy, you know, we can buy more counselors. That's why so like flex, that's the cost of a counselor almost. I mean, that's a counselor is like $130,000. So again, they're not taking home $130. It's
That includes benefits.
Right.
You know,
Think of it almost like a little kitty. you know,
Okay.
so just in case, you know, little cookie jar.
Yeah.
I know, I was kidding. I know, I was like, wait, let me think about it in a different way. Look, I forgot.
And our signature, you can see signature theme, signature allotment, that's a lot of what Stacy does with STEAM. So that would include her salary. She gets $452,000.
Yeah.
So that includes her salary. It includes another salary that I put into that. It includes a lot of travel. I mean, all the things that go into STEAM, but it also is, it's kind of broad based too. So, because we're in year 2 of STEAM. You can see last year we got 437, we got a little bit more this year. Yeah, so that's, okay.
Thank you, Principal Bachman, for sharing this information. I am sure we have an opportunity, after we have an opportunity to review it again, we might have additional questions for the budget feedback. So at this time, what we're going to do is receive a principal's report from you or a CAP.
On the what percent? I
Do
don't
you
really,
have a principal's report?
other than just our projections, which are 17, 11. You know, that's kind of what it is.
Any CAP meeting updates
We did, the CAP meeting that we had in early January, just it was canceled, so they moved it to, I think it's,
This week,
Wednesday or Thursday this week, the
Okay.
next CAP meeting. And it is about STEAM. Warren Edwards is gonna be there, it's gonna be, yeah. I said that. It's Wednesday.
Yes, they were
Yes,
actually discussing
right.
STEAM
Yes,
labs.
CAP.
So
Could you
are
tell us
there,
again, I'm sorry, what CAT stands for?
Cluster advisory team.
That's what it- okay.
right, so, are there any announcements that anyone would like to make at this time?
I have 2 quick announcements. One, if all GO-TO members could please remember to take their budget training. I promise the video is 5 minutes, 10 questions, you'll be done in under 15. The second thing is declarations for the 2024 GO-TEAM elections are now open. And every school is going to need at least 2 parents and 2 non-supervisory instructional staff members to run for the GO-TEAM. The declarations are open and you can go to apsstrongschools.com to declare your candidacy and run. Voting will be in April. Declarations are open until February 28th. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm probably gonna put this on, the nightly news, sorry, I get so confused. But we are having our STEAM carnival coming up and we're probably gonna need a lot of parent volunteers for that. So that is March 28th. 9 to 12.
And also students, right, for community hours?
Probably the week of to like prep, after school, Monday through Thursday. I mean, Monday through Wednesday, prep after school, community service hours, absolutely.
Ms. Rivera, could you talk about the college fair, the special college fair on March 16th?
Yes, we are going to have a college fair for the Hispanic population. It's a cluster, or not even a, yeah, all the,
District.
yeah, district college fair. It's going to be the 16th, it's a Saturday in the afternoon.
Where will it be?
Here in.
Oh, here.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're hosting it.
Yeah.
Do we need to have parent and or student volunteers for that?
Yes, we still we are still planning that, but
Okay.
yes,
So we'll
definitely.
put something out for volunteers probably
That's a
first week in February.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you'll be doing for the next. So. You'll be handing out concessions. Tracy.
What's your background check?
Yeah, with my background check. Stage 5.
We just check right quick because we have to make sure we acknowledge any
Oh, yeah.
questions on. We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I thought y'all didn't want to end it. Second.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, raise your hand. All right, any abstentions? All right, meeting is adjourned at 5:04. Wow.
Blazing